Well, how's everyone doing this morning? It's the day after Thanksgiving, and we're all trying to do our best to get over all of that overeating. Boy, did I make a big mistake. Well, I've made a couple of big mistakes. First, I overate. You know, when you watch the Cowboys and eat at the same time, it can really start to sort of cause some problems on the old stomach. You get all excited watching the game, and that excitement sort of, or at least for me, makes me eat faster. Makes me cram the food down my throat as CeeDee Lamb is running for a touchdown. So, man, I overate. I thought I was gonna die. Made me sick. I'm still getting over it. I mean, it's gonna be 24 hours before I get over the overindulgence yesterday, because I haven't eaten like that in forever. But it was Thanksgiving and you got the Cowboys playing, and you know, what are you gonna do? That was a mistake. Then of course there is the mistake that I made on the day before Thanksgiving, which, to my shame, it's very embarrassing. I hit the mute button somehow, somewhere, somehow during the live stream on Wednesday. I hit the mute button. I don't know what I did, because I did a mic test like I always do before I go live and make sure the microphone is working. Just to make sure, because it's happened to me once before where I had the mute button turned off, but I caught it and I was able to turn it back on without losing. I lost about 20 minutes and then just edited that 20 minutes out. And so that stream was 20 minutes shorter than originally. But on Wednesday, I hit that mute button, or had the mute button hit somehow, and went the entire hour, an hour and 10 minutes on mute. Pretty much a totally wasted day, wasted hour. I checked the entire video and it was nothing but background music and everything but my voice. My mic was on mute. So I hope that never happens again, because I ended up just deleting that whole day. So when you go into my YouTube channel and you see all the various live streams, you'll notice that that particular Wednesday, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, it's not there. It's gone. I just deleted it. I mean, there was no reason to keep it around. It was a total waste. Not a total waste, because I did have another hour of experience playing with the live stream and trying to figure out the various things that happen during the live stream. So it was all good. And I think this is live stream number, I'm gonna guess it's say 39. I could go up to my, I channel here. see for sure. And my channel has a total of 43 videos. And I'm looking at the live stream. Let's see, I'm looking at the lives now. And you can see I numbered a few of them. I numbered right here, I numbered number 30. So it's 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. So today is, oh, and there's one in the hopper. Let's see, this was, yeah, and there's one I haven't sent to public yet, so 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, let's see, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. So today is 39, number 39. The 39th episode, 39th live stream I've done since, when was my first one? Well, let's see, going back to the very beginning, looks like the first one was October 2nd. So I started doing live streams on October the 2nd. And this is, what I say, number 39. So many of those live streams early on were just me trying to figure out the technology, figure out the audio, and figure out the software. I'm working with OBS, and so a lot of it was just early on, and it still is to a certain degree, a lot of practice. So I did want to show you what I've done with OBS, though, to help me. If you're going to use OBS, here are some tricks of the trade, some things I'm learning as I go. Let's see. There we go. These are the scenes in OBS that I switch between. And you notice I have organized them by title so that they can all be grouped together. I've got all the intro scenes together because of the title, and I've got all of my on-camera screens, full screen, and then the 3/4 view, and the Logicam, which I've repositioned on my upper monitor. And then I've got all the full screens here together, and I've got the split screens together, and the video. And then these things down at the bottom, the off screens, are the scenes which no one will see. They're there for me to add to other scenes as needed, like background music, that sort of thing. So this is real helpful. And I just now did it. It's taken me 39 live streams to get to this point. So if you're going to do a live stream, take this as a tip. Do this up front. Organize all of your scenes by title so that you can group them together. And you can click and drag these in any order you want, so that's good. Now I did the same sort of thing, which works a little different though, in the audio mixer. The audio mixer doesn't allow you to click and drag any particular order. So if you got a lot of music you've got a lot of music you're playing and a lot of audio files, then this can get rather confusing as well. So what I've done is I've learned to also title them so that they'll be in alphabetical order and grouped together. And you'll notice here I've got all the musics tagged, beginning with the word music. And I've got my up here at the top, got audio, FX, and I've got, so this makes it much easier when you're having to work the channel yourself. When you're doing all of this by yourself, it helps stay organized so that you can know exactly where you need to go, play certain kinds of music at certain points. And I've got at the very top of this audio mixer my microphone so that I can keep an eye on it and make sure it's not on mute. Because both the mic itself has a mute button on it right here, and then of course I can always mute it on the control panel, and I want to make sure that my mic's on, because I don't want to go through another wasted live stream or another wasted video with my mic off. It's ridiculous. So that's the name of the game, is trying to stay on top of the stream using OBS, because I don't have someone helping me. I'm doing this all on my own, so I have to both switch scenes and check the audio and do all of that stuff while I'm also on screen. So much easier if you've got someone that can work the OBS scenes and work the OBS part of the live stream for you, so all you have to do is worry about being on camera. So that's why you see me looking down or looking in various places. Periodically I'll be looking down at OBS trying to work the control panel as well. So, and I also repositioned some cameras. I've got my iPhone here set at the 3/4 view. This is the iPhone camera. And then I've got, I'm using my laptop camera. I thought, well, why not use it if it's there? So I've got my laptop camera, which I'm using for the full screen, full on face. And then I've got the Logicam, which I've moved up above, up here, so that I can refer to you up here when I'm looking at the browser. Instead of when I look up, now I'm able to look you in the face when I'm looking at the browser and stuff on my upper monitor, because I've got two monitors. I've got the monitor with my laptop, and I've got the monitor. This is the monitor, the full monitor that I've got above my laptop. It's a monitor that I bring in, a pretty good size monitor. And you can see the open windows here. I've got to the left the live stream here, which I can keep an eye on the Wi-Fi, make sure the excellent connection is still running. I can look at stream health. I can check out the analytics. And this is the chat right here. And nobody's in chat. One of these days I'm going to find an audience and people will come into chat. So, and then I've got on the right side here, this is the browser that I've got. So that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of what we've been doing. I do think what I'm going to do starting next week, though, is I'm going to change the timing. I think that's what I will do. Is we're gonna talk about that maybe a little later. But just to wrap up this week, since I had a flub on Wednesday, I was taking each of these 4 ways to find ideas and doing one a day. On Monday we did influencers, on Tuesday we did data analytics, and then on Wednesday the experience portion of the ideas, and then today we were going to do audience. Now Wednesday, the entire hour I spent talking about finding ideas through your experience and through your daily life, that was a washout. That's been deleted. So we'll just regroup. These are the 4 main ideas here. whenever you're trying to look for ideas for your videos, just think of the word idea. Influencers, other creators. D is for data, E is for experience, your life, and A is for audience, the viewers. We want to listen to the audience and viewers to get ideas. That's the idea. And to try out, make sure my iPad's working. We will take a look here at, this is what I went over on Wednesday, which nobody could hear because of my stupid mute button. This was the experience portion of the idea, finding ideas using experience, using your life, using everyday moments to come up with ideas. So, man, I could do an hour video on overeating during a Cowboys game. Because I swear I broke out into sweats. That's how bad it was. I broke out into a cold sweat and felt like I was just gonna faint right there. And I think a lot of it had to do with my I had surgery on my neck because of skin cancer. They took out a big portion of my neck, and it's affected my swallowing. And so when I overeat or eat too fast, it's not like acid reflux. It's more like food is backing up and hasn't reached my stomach yet. And I have to take some extra swallows to make sure all the food goes down. And if I go too fast or eat too much at a time, I've discovered that it starts to back up. And there is this condition that I've got tied to the skin cancer scar on my neck because it's so close to the major artery, the major vein, that it causes me to go into a cold sweat, and I feel like I'm going to faint. And sometimes I do pass out, or I did when I was going through surgery and was recovering from surgery. I passed out a couple of times because it's so close to my main vein that it's a condition that when something gets that close to a major vein, your blood pressure drops and you feel like you're going to faint. So that's the way I felt, because I was eating too fast, I was eating too much, and I was excited about the Cowboy game, and I shouldn't have been doing it all at the same time. I should have just eaten a nice, quiet, slow lunch before the game. So I've learned my lesson. Well, that's an experience that I could use perhaps to somehow use in a video. Pay attention to conversations with your friends and family during the coming holidays. Maybe they'll give you some ideas. Look at your own creative routine. What are you struggling with? Experimenting. I'm experimenting on this live stream all the time, so it's helping me come up with all kinds of ideas. Treat your life like a notebook. You know, write yourself a personal journal. That's what I do. I keep a personal journal and write down sorry. There we go. I write down a personal journal, and it helps me come up with ideas because I'm writing down things that happen to me on a daily basis, people I meet, events, that sort of thing. Taking notes. Now this is the art of the let's see. This is the audience portion. Listening to the audience to find ideas. Listening to viewers. Well, I can't spell viewers very good, can I? How do you spell viewers? That doesn't look right. Is it viewer? That's not right. Boy, my brain is fried. We want to listen to the viewers. And the way we do that is through the comments they make and through the I'm sorry, hang on just a second. Well, I'm all messed up. Variant. All right. Hang on just a second. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. We can find ideas when we're talking about listening to the audience by looking at the comments, the community posts, or direct messages that people send us. We can look at comments and come up, because your audience, your viewers, will give you ideas. And you can also look in the comments of other content creators in your niche and become active in the comment portions of those people that you follow on YouTube, and come up with ideas by looking at the comments of other creators, because they may not be doing that. So there are some creators that don't interact with their comments at all, people that are making comments. So don't hesitate to go into the comments of other content creators and look for ideas. Turn micro questions into bigger conversations, it says here. Turn micro questions into bigger conversations. A comment about thumbnails could be a whole stream, for example. Use your community tab. Look at your DMs for themes. What are people asking? What do they not understand? What are they struggling with? And this note down here I made about treating negative comments or trolls as raw material for moments, for educational moments. You don't want to call out the troll. You want to delete the troll. You want to ignore them, but you can take what they say and make it a teachable moment. So all of that is to say that we want to try to find ideas in advance. We want to come up with as many ideas in advance as we can. And I'm looking at 2026 right now, what I can do to come up with questions. And what I want to do is I'm going to share with you my notes here that I've made so far. First thing I wanted to come up with was a full list of all the various kinds of videos a person can make, all the various formats. And you'll notice here that I've got them highlighted here. Cinematic, which is a visually polished piece focused on mood, color, movement. And the target viewer is, of course, those who love art, aesthetics, visual storytelling. It's not so much about us providing information, but it's about us creating art, creating a visual piece of art. It's cinematic. Then there's the narrated, just telling a story. There's a way that we can make an ambient video, which is all about setting a mood. It's quiet, atmospheric. People who want relaxation, you're going to have some nice music playing in the background. You can of course do a personal interview. There's also the talking head video, which is teaching and information. That's another way. A travel log, like Anthony Bourdain. It's entertaining, and it's about a location that you visit, and it's about lifestyle, culture, the food. You can do a live stream, which I'm doing now, which is basically the way you build community, and you show behind the scenes. You show people your experience and what you're doing. So then the compilation, a collection of clips based on a theme. You can do a documentary, sort of a mini doc. You can do a review or a breakdown. You analyze something, take some gear or a technique or a creator's video, a book, a trend, and you do a review of it. You do the breakdown, you study it. You can do a tutorial, do a demo. You can do a reaction video, react to something. You see a video or something that you have a strong reaction to, and there you go, you've got a video idea. Explainer videos, where you analyze or explain how something is done. There's a point of view or first person experience video. You're walking through a place or doing a task. Let's say I visit an art gallery. I might shoot video of me walking through the art gallery, making comments of the paintings I see. That would be my first person experience point of view of walking through an art gallery. So that's an idea. Or you can do a video challenge, an experiment. You can, for example, 24 hours doing something, or a 7-day challenge of some kind. Or you're going to do a whole week of videos, or a whole month of videos with no talking. Maybe that's a challenge. Then you can do a time-lapse process piece, which is basically showing how something is done, and you're speeding through the process. It may take you all day to, let's say, build a cabin. Let's say you're going to build a front porch on your cabin. Well, it may take you 2 or 3 days, but you're going to show the entire process and use time-lapse. And you're going to create maybe a 15-minute video where you condense the 4 days into a time-lapse of the 4 days, speed things up. Then there's a before and after transformation, where you show a before, then you spend the video working on whatever it is you're working on, and then you show the transformation, what happened after. Commentary, opinion, don't forget about that. That's a piece as well. It's not the same as the talking head. It's more about your take, your viewpoint, your opinion. So you can do some videos based on your opinion. And there's the collaboration video, where you collaborate with someone else. You find another YouTuber, someone else in the community that's interested in your niche or whatever you're working on, and you collaborate and do the video together. And then, of course, the podcast style, which is 2 or 3 cameras, a long conversation, one place, or you may be outside walking down the street or sitting at a coffee table outside on the patio or something like that. It's a natural flowing conversation between you and another person. Podcast style. And you're not going to have visuals. You're not going to refer to a lot of visuals, because that's a quick way to lose a listener on a podcast. When you start talking about something that only you and your other person can see. So the podcast style is audio, not video. It's all about the speaking voice, not about the visuals. Then, of course, you've got shorts of all kinds that you can play around with. So, whenever you think about, man, I just can't come up with an idea for a video, well, here's you a good list of the different types. And my goal for 2026 is to do at least one video of each of these across my 3 channels. I want to take advantage of this list and make a video of all of them. Try them out, experiment with them. Now here I added a note that I'm thinking about starting next week to change the timing. And I think I'm going to go to early afternoons and see, because we're pushing on 40 some odd episodes now. I started out at 9 a.m., did about 20 live streams, and then I moved up to 10 a.m., and I've done about 20 streams at 10 a.m., and I've got about 18 or 19 work days left before the end of the year. So it's a perfect time to try the 2 p.m. slot. Now I've got here Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm thinking about cutting back on the daily routine and just going to Tuesdays and Thursdays twice a week. The other thing I thought about was about a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I could do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Do 3 a week. I mean, that's an idea. What do you think? Let me know what you think. If you're watching this, jump into chat. Let me know. I could do a Tuesday, Thursday, or I could do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or the other idea I had is I've got 3 channels. Well, let's see if I can spell channels. I've got 3 channels. What if I did a live stream once a week for each channel? That would be 3 live streams a week and do 1 for each channel. But I've enjoyed these daily live streams so much that I just really don't know. I may stick with it on a daily basis for a while through the end of the year. I just really don't know, because I'm trying to balance my time versus the fun of doing a daily stream. I mean, I'm learning a lot because it's forcing me each day to gather my thoughts, come in with a plan, set up the cameras and the lights and the video monitors and all that, and it's giving me a lot of practice. When you do it each day, each work day for a week, I'm squeezing in 5 live streams a week. So I don't know. I'm gaining a lot of experience. So I'm not sure which way to go. So what do you think? Let me know what you think. I'm not real sure. I keep tossing it back and forth. I do want to try the afternoon hours, though. So I think starting next week, it's going to be 2 p.m. So the only question is now, do I want to go 5 days a week, or do I want to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or do I want to go Tuesday, Thursday? Or do I want to toss in maybe a live stream on each of my other channels? That's going to be a good question. The art channel, my art channel would be easy because I can always do a drawing demo or go live and draw something, draw a picture on my iPad, or even draw something with a pencil on pad and use a camera to show that too. So there's all kinds of things you can do with a creative art channel. It lends itself to a lot of visual demonstrations and things that you can do. Now on my other channel, Mitch and his van, it's all about me trying to purchase a van and getting on the road so that I can travel for a year and do live streams and work on my 3 channels on the road. And the places I travel to will give me all kinds of content to work from. And I've become addicted to watching van life videos on YouTube. People in their vans traveling across the country, visiting various places across the country and living out of their van. And some of these vans are very, very nice. I saw one for sale that I'd like to buy, but it's only $119,000. Anybody have a spare 119 grand they want to give me? But it had a full shower, the bathroom. I mean, it was nice. Kitchen. So Mitch and his van, that channel is going to be following me trying to come up with a traveling van, a camper van, and watch me trying to raise the money. That's going to be fun. That'll be exciting. But it's only money. I mean, money is just resources, like anything else. It's no big deal. You just got to find it. It's out there. I've got to figure out how to find it. There are loans that you can get on a travel camper, a camper van. You can get a 20-year loan actually on a camper van, and so I did some math. Well, I actually asked ChatGPT how much the cost is on a $120,000 camper for 20 years at like 8% interest, and you're talking about $1,200 or $1,300 a month. 20 years, it's like a house payment. So what do I care? I'm 67 years old. I won't be here in 20 years. I'll let my my estate handle it after I'm dead and gone. All I want to do is get into a van and make the payments each month. So I've got to come up with the income. That's part of the issue too, of course. So, but that's Mitch and his van. That channel is going to be all about that. And it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to come up with ideas until I get my van. Or I may start traveling sooner than that. I may just hop in my car and travel in my car for a while, especially during the months of January and February when the winters in Austin can get rather freezy. So I may want to just hop in my car and head south. I got on ChatGPT and asked about the warmest place in Texas to live during the winter months, especially January, February, and it talked about McAllen, Mission area of Texas, which is way south, about as far south in Texas as a person can go. But the temperatures there are really pleasant, and it rarely, if ever, gets into the 30s at night, and it never snows. Once in 100 years it'll snow and ice. So McAllen is the place to go. It's right near the Mexican border, which kind of scares me because of the open borders that we had for 4 years. I don't know what that's done to the crime scene, but it would be an adventure. I may just hop in my car and hit the road and spend January and February in the far southern parts of Texas to escape the snow and the ice. And it'll be like I'm in my van. I just won't have a van. I'll have a car. That'll be exciting. Find me a cheap hotel, I guess. Live in a hotel for a couple of months. The point is, that's my goal. That's on my plan. It's on my plan for 2026, is to build these channels, and the idea is to get them all monetized. Of course, I want to monetize all of them. So that's the goal. That's the idea. Well, let's see if you're in chat. Jump into chat. Let me know what's going on. If you're watching this a year, 6 months down the road, feel free to go ahead and add some comments. That's okay. I'll still get notified. We can still engage and start a conversation, even if it's 6 months from now and you happen to come across this live stream video. And don't be afraid to get involved here so that we can all help each other out on this journey that we're taking on social media. There's so much can be done. There's so many things to do that a full-time job, I've never worked harder and longer hours than I have when I started getting back into YouTube. I've probably worked more hours doing this live stream than I've worked in years. But it's so much fun. It really is. So, well, let's see. What do we want to talk about next? What do we want to do? I've got some questions we can go over. What I'm trying to do, of course, is build an audience. Eventually, I want to find an audience and have them come into chat and start engaging with me so that we can have a conversation going on. But until then, I've got to come up with some things to talk about, right? So let's talk about some questions here. If I can find them. There they are. Question number 1. I am a horse rescue. Not I am a horse rescue. I am running a horse rescue and have 100 hours of random horse and farm footage. Hundreds of hours. I have no desire to appear on camera. It's okay. Or speak in videos. Is there any way to succeed given my personal limitations? Well, let me just say right up front that you don't have any personal limitations. The only limitations we have when we're creating content for YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, the only limitations we have is our imagination. So if you don't want to appear on camera, if you don't want to talk on camera, that's not a limitation. That's just your way of doing things, and you're going to find your ways around it. You can shoot videos without appearing on camera. You can use an AI generated voice if you don't want to use your own voice on camera in terms of narration. So you can do a faceless channel. And we went through all of those ways that a person can create content, and some of these you can do without appearing on camera. You can do some of these without talking on camera. And with AI generation now, you can find a voice, you can write out the script and just let somebody else do the talking. So you don't even have to do that. So there's all of these things. Look at all the various kinds of videos that you can do without appearing on camera, talking on camera. So they're not limitations at all. The limitations are just in your own imagination and your own mind. And I would also suggest that you don't let the camera, and speaking on camera, be so fearful that you don't give it a shot. I mean, you might find that you really enjoy it after you do it a while and you get comfortable with doing it. So there's always that. Is it okay to video people in public without getting their permission? Well, I've checked into this since I was a photojournalist for years when I first got out of college and was doing a lot of photography in public locations and new settings. I was always afraid that if I was catching somebody in the background without their permission, that I would have to somehow, cut them out. And what I've discovered, what I have found, since I'm not an attorney, I'm not a lawyer, I don't know all the legal ramifications, but I do know that in general, when someone is in a public location, they are giving up their privacy to a certain extent. They are going to appear on someone's camera occasionally. I mean, they're going to be on all kinds of video surveillance. So when we're in public, we have very little privacy. So in general, and it's state specific. Every state has its own laws in terms of what kind of disclosures you need and how you need to go about it. But in general, if you accidentally have people in the background that you're trying to capture, when you're videotaping B-roll, for example, in general, it's okay. You don't have to have their permission. So let's say you're shooting some B-roll of downtown Dallas. You're walking the streets and you're shooting video of the stores and the sidewalk and the life of downtown Dallas. You're going to be videotaping a lot of people. And in general, that's okay. But what you have to watch out for is homing in on one person and showing that one person specifically. And you sure as hell don't want to make fun of them or in some way criticize them or point out something about them that you find funny. Because if they see it and you use it on YouTube or TikTok or some other and they somehow come across it, then you may get in trouble. So the idea here is to keep everything in a blur. Just if you're going to scan the crowd, just do it quickly and don't home in on any particular person, especially if you're going to use it commercially. If you're going to post it on some sort of some sort of platform, especially if you're going to get monetized. If you're trying to get monetized, then but when you're trying to get monetized, then it turns everything into a commercially driven data content. And when it becomes commercially driven content, then you need to be more careful. So just be sensitive to what you're filming, and don't take advantage of people in public. Just if there's ways that you can cut angles and use your camera in shots that will not violate people's privacy, even though they don't expect privacy in a public location. For example, you can change the depth of field on your camera and make the background blurry. Blur the background if you're focusing on one person that you're talking to. Let's say you're doing a walking video interview down the street, and you can blur the background so that if anybody's in the background, there'll be a blur. While the person you're interviewing, of course, is still in focus. So those are the kinds of things that you can do. Now, the biggest warning of all when shooting in public is to avoid at all cost videotaping children. videotaping kids will get you in the biggest trouble. So just don't do it. Just avoid it. If you catch kids in your video, in your B-roll, then later you need to edit that portion out. Because YouTube especially is very sensitive about kids showing up on videos. And other platforms will be too. So unless it's specifically a video about kids and it's a video made for kids and everyone is aware of what you're doing, then that's one thing. But if you're just shooting casual B-roll of crowds, of people in a public place, stay away from the kids. What are some ways I can grab a viewer's attention in my intro? Well, let's think about that for a moment. We've all talked about the importance of the first 10 seconds of a video, how you want to grab the attention of the viewer and not let them go. You grab them with the thumbnail, you get them with the title they've clicked on. Now you've got 10 seconds to grab them, get them interested, and try to get them to stay and watch your video. So the intro is important. The way you get that attention is all over the map. You've just got to use your imagination. You can ask a question. First thing out of your mouth when you start your video is you can ask a question about your topic. Let's say you're filming a video about your fishing trip, and the video is going to show you out on your fishing boat with your rod and reel and you're catching fish. Well, the intro of your video, if you're going to ask a question, would start out with something like, did you know that it's illegal to catch a 4-pound bass in this lake? Or something like that. Start off with a question. Did you know that there is a fungus growing in this lake that if attached to the bottom of your boat, it could cause some real damage? So you could ask a question. That's one thing. You could also point out some sort of problem, some sort of danger, some sort of issue that you're dealing with, some sort of fear that you have. If you're showing a video of your trip to a water park, you might start the video out by saying, you know, my kids are afraid I'm going to drown if I go to this water park. Or you could say, I'm scared to death of water parks because I can't swim. You could start your video that way. What you're wanting to do is create some curiosity. You're wanting to ask a question that somebody will stay around in the video to get an answer. Wanting to provide what's called a curiosity gap. And one way to do that, of course, is to ask a question. Another thing is to point out something that you're fearful of, or point out some danger, some sort of problem or issue that you're having. Well, let's see, what else? What else can you do with that intro? What you better do is reaffirm the title. A lot of creators just repeat the title first thing out of their mouth. They'll repeat the title of the video, which is good practice, because the viewer wants to know that when they click on that video that they're in the right place and that they're going to get what you promised them in the title and the thumbnail. So you want to reaffirm the title and thumbnail in that first 10 seconds if you can. So there's various things that you can do. You just have to give it some thought. Now, there are some really popular videos out there that get hundreds of thousands of views, and the intro doesn't do any of that. And it's especially less important if you're a video with lots of followers. If you've got 100,000 followers and they're going to watch and let's say a portion of them, let's say 10%, that's 10,000, are going to watch every video you put out there, you're going to get 10,000 views regardless of what you do in the intro. So it becomes less important the larger your channel grows, although it's still very important. But I see every day examples of videos that get hundreds of thousands of views and their intros are just not there. Their intros are just terrible. So let's not overthink it. How far in advance should I plan my videos? What's the best way to stay organized? Well, I would say I personally, what I want to do in my own experience working with 3 channels is I want to stay as far in advance in my planning as I can get. I want to have a running list of video ideas and a shooting schedule that goes far in advance, so that it would be so great to have 4 or 5 weeks of videos completely finished, ready to upload. Because I can take those 5 videos, let's say I have 2 videos for my Mitch and his van channel, and I've got 2 videos for my art channel, and I've got 1 video for Even Rabbits, this channel. I've got 5 of those videos ready to go. I can go in and schedule them to come out 1 a week, and I'll be so far ahead of the game if I could do that. If I could get 2 or 3 weeks ahead in terms of the content creation, then the stress level should go down. Because if I get sick or something comes up in my life where I have to take a week off, it's okay, because I've got something scheduled to come out that week anyway. So I'm covered. I'm okay. Now, how do you get organized? That's going to be person to person. You're going to have to figure out how you do that on your own. I use a spreadsheet. I use Google Spreadsheets to handle my organization. And then I have a file system set up. And I have the file system set up for my content on the cloud in my cloud account, so that I can access it wherever I am from whatever device I've got. Because I can sit in the parking lot of the grocery store, and if I want to pull something out dealing with one of my channels, I've got access to all those files just by using my phone and going into the cloud and finding those files. So it's helpful to store all of that stuff on the cloud rather than just your local laptop or your local computer, your desktop. So that's the way I handle things. So I put as much as I can in the cloud, and then I have some things on my laptop as well. So you just have to come up with your own way of doing things. Well, so how we doing? What's going on? Drop into chat. Give me some idea of what's happening in your part of the world. Got to be something going on. That we can talk about. Well, let's see, coming up on an hour. Looks like we've been at this an hour, and we've gone through a lot. I hope some of it's been of value. I've just sort of been talking and rambling along and trying to share with you my journey. That's really about all I can do. And until you engage with me and let me know what you're doing, there's not much I can do but sit here and talk to myself. So I hope the content that I am presenting is helpful if you see this somewhere down the road. And I think as for next week, it's going to be 2 p.m. So I don't know, probably go every day. I may start out Monday, 2 p.m. and go all next week, every day, every weekday next week. We don't have any holidays next week. So I've got 5 good days that I can do an afternoon stream at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central Standard Time and start testing out the afternoon hours. So that's what we're going to do next week. So that's the plan. And until then, I do appreciate you being with me. Thanks for coming along, and I hope everything goes for you good this week and this weekend, and we will see you next week. So go out there and make it a good day. We'll talk to you later.
Hope you enjoyed our time together. See you again soon.
And when you ba-da-ba-da-ba